Good evening, and welcome to the Self Checkout Show. I am your host, Pastor Will, here along with my beautiful sisters and co hosts, Dr. Nancy Murphy and the beautiful Miss Crystal Love. And of course, yesterday was Mother's Day, and I want to say again to all of the beautiful mommies out there, happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day to you, Crystal, to you, Dr.
Thank
Nancy.
you.
Yay, thank you.
Did you guys have a good day yesterday?
I
Yeah.
did. A good
Yeah.
day of nothing.
Absolutely not.
Hey, sometimes that's the best day.
Listen, yes, it was a good day of nothing.
Sometimes that is the best day. I
Yes.
had the opportunity to get up and go and have church with my mommy at her church, my former church, the Word Works Church. We had an awesome time there. As always, when I go home, it was good to be there. Took some pictures with mommy. She went home and I came home.
Amen.
And that was all right with me.
It was all right. Listen, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Look, that's what my daughter said. She said, if you don't want to do anything, it's
Yeah.
all right with me.
Yeah. But I told her to get ready because I got something big and special coming up for her.
Yay.
She's excited. She's excited. So yeah, I hope you all had a great Mother's Day, everybody out there. Listen, we're going to get into our main topic in just a few minutes, but I want to wish my pastors, my apostles,
Yes.
Pastor Kurt and Linda
Our
Stevens,
apostle.
a happy wedding anniversary.
Yay.
They have been married for
Anniversary.
47 years today.
That's excellent.
47 years. Happy
Yes.
anniversary to my apostles.
Our apostles.
Sorry, whatever.
Thank you. I have to always correct you.
Here we go with this again.
You know they're mine now. Come on.
They were mine first.
I don't know about what you've got to say, but I'm just telling you how I feel about it. They belong to me. They're mine. Get your own.
Oh,
Well, happy anniversary to them.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. We love them. We love them. Hey, you guys that are viewing, thank you for watching Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and those that are going to be listening to the podcast version of this show on Spotify. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We would appreciate a follow if you follow us, and that way you can get alerts every time we upload to Spotify. And we need more YouTube subscribers. So I'm going to be pushing YouTube, all you YouTubers out there. If you have a channel, please look us up, WT Ministries 3, and subscribe to our channel.
Yes.
And we are going to, guys, ladies, they say if TMZ reports it, it's for real.
Uh-oh.
That's what they say.
Well, before you talk about TMZ, everybody that's tuned in now, share.
like and love.
That's right.
Let's do that right now. Help keep us where we are.
That's
the
right.
Upper 3% on Facebook. We were there last week with you guys' support. So help keep us there. We need you to share and like and love.
That's right.
Okay.
And tag somebody.
Yes, please, by all means, tag somebody. Tonight, we're going to talk about our main topic. We're going to talk about overcoming the shame of divorce. If you know somebody that has been divorced, that has been shamed by it, tag them in the comments. Tell them to get in here. Get in here and get encouraged tonight. Get help tonight, because my guest tonight is definitely going to do that when I bring her on. But guys, they say if TMZ reports it, it's a real thing.
All right.
So, a lot of these websites say stuff, but they're not really reputable sites. But if TMZ posts it, they're on something. And TMZ today, this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. says Jamie Foxx continues to receive medical treatment after his serious health scare last month in Atlanta, but now he's in a new city at a facility known as the top physical medicine and rehabilitation center in the country. It goes on to say Jamie's family, including his daughters Corinne and Annalise, as well as Annalise's mother, Kristen, were all in Chicago both Saturday and Sunday to spend time with Jamie during his continued care. And they have pictures. So it is for real, it is actually true. They go on to say, while we still don't know exactly what happened to Jamie or why he's there, we know the facility specializes in stroke recovery, traumatic brain injury rehab, spinal cord injury rehab, and cancer rehabilitation. One source told TMZ that Jamie arrived at this facility late April after initially getting treatment in an Atlanta hospital, and sources connected to Jamie tells TMZ that he is doing better and in good spirits. He's alert, he's active, and they brought him flowers and balloons. So we are definitely glad that he's better. Hey, Lady K, yes, Jamie Foxx is in Chicago in a rehab facility. And it had been rumored, ladies, that he had either had a stroke or a brain aneurysm. But according to the rehab facility that he's in, it's very possible that he could have had a stroke while filming that movie. So his daughter, I'm sure you guys saw it. Everybody probably saw it. His daughter posted, because some other Instagram page posted, oh, they calling the family in, pray for Jamie, get ready for the worst and all of that. And she took that and she posted, said, it's a shame that I have to do this, but my daddy is fine.
Yeah.
But she kind of lied a little bit. No, she lied a lot bit. She said he is at home. He's been at home for weeks and he played pickleball yesterday. I knew that was a lie.
I was,
But
that's why when you were reading that just now, I was thinking, didn't I see that he was at home? But
right, yeah.
I
think she was just trying to throw people off that.
People want to know too much.
I agree.
Let that man rehabilitate and have his situation with his family. When they're ready to talk, they will tell you.
Period.
Absolutely. So the good thing, ladies, and good evening, Sister Stella. Hey, how are you?
Stella.
Thank you for joining. Stella, we need likes, we need hearts, and we need shares. So everybody do that. Everybody do that right now if you haven't. So I'm just glad that he's doing okay. He's doing better because I love Jamie Foxx. I love the Jamie Foxx show. I still watch it every time I see it. So, we don't know these people personally.
Right.
But when you come up watching them and seeing them, really step into stardom and the celebrity life, some of these little stories kind of hit you a little different, So I'm really glad that he's doing okay. And he is in Chicago. So there. So we put all the speculation to rest. Everybody knows where he is now because TMZ said so. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Thank you so very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a really spectacular show tonight that's going to really, really encourage and help somebody that has been through divorce, especially if you are a Christian, a church-going Christian that has been through divorce. That's me. That's her. That's her. And that's also our special guest tonight. She is a part of the SDMI International, Salvation and Deliverance International Church. She's a part of my church. That's right. Well, I'm a part of her church because she was there first. But nevertheless, she's my friend, she's my sister, and we love her dearly. And we want to bring and introduce and welcome to the show tonight, Sister Minister Kim Taylor. We call her Kimmy. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, I didn't do my applause. Did you all get the applause tonight?
No.
You didn't get it. I don't know why you're not getting it.
Did you do it?
The screen is black. Yeah, I did it. I don't know why you guys aren't getting it. I don't like that.
Well, we were hearing it the first week you had it.
I know.
Now we can't hear it anymore.
Some things.
Nope.
Wait, what? All I see is a black screen for Minister Kimmy.
There she is.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Happy Mother's Day to you as well.
Thank you.
So glad to have you on with us tonight. We've been trying to work it out for a little while, but we finally got it to happen. And I initially, you guys that are watching, I know you saw it said Kim Taylor and Donna Thompson. Donna is her daughter, but Donna works like a dog. And so Donna is tired. So
There's Donna.
She needs to get her
12-hour shifts 2 nights in a row. So yeah, she's
12-hour shifts back to back. So she definitely needs her rest. But we appreciate her because she's a nurse and has been on the front line for the pandemic and all.
Yeah.
So all of our doctors and nurses, all you frontline workers, we appreciate you tonight. Yes. Thank you for what you do. Yeah. So guys, we're here. And hey mommy.
Hey mama.
We were just talking about you a few minutes ago. Love you, lady. Y'all see her profile pictures. She looking fly. Y'all see that? So tonight we're talking about overcoming the shame of divorce. And to our viewers, whether you know it or not, Dion, good evening, brother. How are you?
Hello.
How are you? Welcome to the show. Whether you know it or not, the four of us that you see on your screen right now, we all share one similar thing. I'm sorry. Sister Dion, thank you for joining us. We all share one thing in common, and that is, we share a lot of things in common, but one thing that we're talking about tonight, each of us have gone through divorce. And of the four of us, as it stands, only Dr. Nancy has been remarried. She married my brother. I pray for him. But you know, the funny thing, and I was talking to Minister Kimmy, and I want you guys to chime in and chat with us tonight. Even if you're married and want to stay married, we want to hear from you too. Okay. I was sharing with Minister Kimmy before we came on that it's one thing to publicly go through a divorce, but y'all, if we just can be, well, we honest anyway on this show. This is the show where we take an honest look at what's in our hearts, minds, and spirits. Hey, brother, how you doing? Thank you for being here. It's one thing to go through a public divorce, but it brings it to a whole nother level when you go through a public church divorce.
Yes.
That's a whole nother level of scrutiny.
Yes, it is.
That we've all been through, you know, but the great thing about it is your ladder is greater than your past. So, you know, we have to go through these things, and it seems like that there is a certain stigma, a certain shame that comes from a divorce, especially if you are Christian and you are in the church. So I know that Kimmy has been. Can we call you Kimmy on the show tonight?
Yes, you can.
Okay. No, I like. If we can do Minister Kim, we can do that.
That's right. Kimmy is fine.
Hey, Pastor Mama, how you doing? Glad to see you on tonight. Thank you for joining us. So Kim, I met Kim a little over 10 years ago when I came to SDMI church, and her story is really a unique one. And I'm going to allow her to share what her experience was, because when I met Kimmy, she was married.
Yes.
So, and then being there and connecting with you, Kimmy was one of the ones, and her family was one of the ones, they were some of the people that embraced me and they loved me quickly. And we have a great relationship to this day. And when you are in relationship with people and you see them going through, it hurts.
Yeah.
And so I had to, as her brother, I had to watch her hurt. And I could only pray, That's all we can do. That's all we should do.
Amen. Should.
Should.
The word. Right.
Definitely.
We're going to talk about that too.
Yes.
But Kimmy is here. Kimmy, I want you to walk us through your story and tell us about how you overcame the shame of divorce.
Yes. Got married, and I believe it was actually, I've been divorced this past March for 6 years. Before then, in the midst of it all, and my situation had happened, and I went through it openly inside the church. Hard, difficult. When you get a chance to see yourself in a relationship and you begin to see yourself separate and go different direction, but yet being inside of the church. Mm-hmm. We both was in ministry, and the person that was displayed and shown in church was totally complete opposite the person that was at home. Going through counseling, trying to mend the gaps and bring the unity and all of that other good wonderful stuff. And my situation, it was a very unique one, because I was married to someone that was really, really quiet. So whatever was on his mind, if he didn't speak it, you really didn't know it. You got a chance to see things, but how a person actually feels, if it's someone that's not conversing with you, not conversating with you, not letting you know what's going on and how it's going on and when it's going on, then there, unless God reveals some stuff, it's some stuff that you just don't know. In the midst of it, I'm thinking that, it was a rough patch, but I was yet thinking that we were, still together. In the midst of it, we wasn't together unto my knowing. With everything that's playing in church, he abruptly stopped going to church. First thing first.
Okay, Kim, you said something that caught me. You said that we were still together, but I can't remember exactly how you just said that. You were still together, but you basically you weren't still together. But you didn't know that.
Yes.
Can you explain that to our viewers?
Okay, so in my situation, like I said, he was someone that was very, very quiet. So the things that were bothering him, or the things that he was thinking and that was on his heart, if he didn't share them, there was just some stuff that I didn't know, unless it was something that God revealed. Now, being in one of those situations where it's hard, of course you feel that part, but as far as me not being in his heart no more, that's what I didn't know. And in the midst of it, with him being quiet like that, I was no longer in his heart. And I remember asking God, I remember getting prophecy in church, and God would always tell me from time to time that I'm not alone. And I remember asking God, I said, Lord, well, if you keep telling me that I'm not alone, why do I feel it? Why do I feel so alone? And this is in the marriage. And maybe it was shortly after that. I'm not for sure how much space after it or whatever. My situation, I literally came home, and this was outside of the counseling, calling them praying, you know, all that good, wonderful stuff. But if you married to someone where their heart is not in it, because it's definitely a matter of the heart. If their heart is not connected with your heart, well, God is unseen, knowing God. He knows everything. So, meaning that if a person's heart is not connected with your heart, and if your heart is pure before God, God is going to eventually reveal it in some kind of way, shape, form, or fashion. Well, he happened to do that with us, but it was really, really strange the way that it happened, because I literally came home and he was already gone.
Without any type of notice or anything. He didn't say, I'm done with the marriage. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm unhappy. He just left.
He literally the morning of, because my kids, they were still in school and I worked downtown. So it was nothing out of the unordinary what he did. Made sure we had car fare, bus fare to get through our day and to get to where we were going. And I remember telling them, I said, I'm fine. I said, you might want to check with the boys and make sure that they are okay for the day. And he did. And literally we came home that evening and he was already moved out.
Had he been confiding in anyone or maybe talking to someone?
So come to find out later on, that what I found out afterwards was that he was a deacon inside of the church. So of course he was close to some of the deacons inside the church. So it was stuff that the deacons, they knew. That, the men, they knew it, but it wasn't something that they shared with me or told me about or anything. And I literally had someone to come and tell me after the fact. I mean, it was probably like a year or so later that he did end up confiding in him, and that he shared with him. And the person told him, said, well, ask him, well, is that something that you talked to her about? Is that something that, you can tell her and, just talk it out or whatever. And he shared with the person, he said, no, I'm going to do it my way.
So he confided in somebody at the church, some of the other men.
Yes.
At the church. To your knowledge, did any of those men go to their pastor and say, hey, listen to this?
Not to my knowledge, and I don't believe that they did, because shortly after, maybe about like a year or so later, I literally, let me back up some. So my situation, so with me ended up getting separated the whole 9 yards. I ended up being sick, and I had no clue how sick I was. Had to have major surgery, the whole 9 yards. So all of this was going on. I literally felt like I didn't know whether I was coming or going. It was like, Lord, I'm just trying to just make it. Just
one hit after the next.
Just a little bit. And before I can even pick up, I was already being pushed back down. And I remember after the surgery, our apostle, as we talked, Cole and Pastor, Cole was dynamic. Cole wanted me to get out of the house. And this was around the time when Pastor Couture was pregnant with her son. And just so she can lay eyes on me. And the person that I got the ride with to get to Couture baby shower, she shared with me what she had heard. She said that the men in the church said that the marriage, it was my fault that it ended up failing, the whole 9 yard, the whole shebang. And that was unbeknownst to me along with someone that didn't live with me and that didn't know what was going on inside of my household. We had no, it was just not right. But nevertheless, I remember Cole, Apostle, prophesying to me. I was at church one day, and out of nowhere, she told me, she said, Kimmy, God is going to vindicate you. So, and even in the midst of it, I'm telling you one thing that I did, and God saw me through it. I said, Lord, do not allow bitterness to enter my heart. I go through whatever that I need to go through, but do not allow bitterness to enter my heart, because it's something when you trust your heart with someone. It is really, it's something.
I do a lot when we bring certain topics. I do a lot of reading articles, and I specifically like Psychology Today. I love that website when we talk about certain topics. And I literally Googled the psychological effects that divorce has on people, and it really, really does affect male, female, don't matter, because we all got the same emotions. And it really does have an effect on you mentally and on you physically.
Yes,
it can. Now, one thing that I love what I'm hearing from you, Charlotte, you are in my thoughts. I promise you we're going to talk about that tonight. One thing I love hearing from you, Kim, while you were going through this, you had help by way of Dr. Linda.
I did. I love her. I've been following her since I was a little girl, about like 12 years old. And I know one thing about her is she will get in the trenches with you, and she's gonna fight and see you through. I know that firsthand. I can attest to it. And along with her, being my mother, she loves me, and you know what, mother wants to see their child hurt, but in the midst of that, there's yet some things in it to where I had to go through. I mean, I wouldn't know the victory and wouldn't be able to see the other side of this thing unless I went through that thing. And I can honestly say, I'm healed. I'm made whole. I definitely desire to be married again. And I know that even with all of the prophecy that I've been getting, for the last couple of years, that is definitely on the horizon for me, because there are certain things that I desire to experience. I desire to experience somebody that loved Kim for Kim, not me having to change and put on this persona for anyone, just for me to be whole, just me being me.
So Kim, let's talk about the time period or the space from the time of the separation and or divorce up until the vindication. Let's talk about that time, because you were going to church and you all were saying that there was shame and embarrassment. So what brought about that, and how was Kim feeling, and how did it affect your children?
Well, it affected the kids, my kids, really hard. First of all, my kids, anybody that knows us, we're very close. So to watch me hurt and to watch me have so much pain and try to figure things out, of course, it affected them. It was things that they, in the midst of it, just trying to make sure mama is okay. So I guess in their little minds, if mama is okay, we're okay. Of course, now, I hear different things that they share with me, from time to time. And it was hard. I mean, because we literally lost everything. We lost where we was living at. And we ended up moving there with my mom. Because like I said, it was just out of nowhere. It was something that was really, really abrupt. And outside of me having to have the surgery, literally this was like July. I had major surgery that following January behind finding out that I was sick that September. So it was like boom, 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 boom. So it was like before I can even try to get myself together, I was steady being submerged. So as time went on, and me just staying close to God and staying with Cohen them and in the ministry, because it was important to me to be in the presence of God. I knew that was where my help came from, and meaning that if my mind was right and if my heart was right, I would be able to get through any and everything. And I didn't see it because I even remember even after the surgery. Will, I don't even know whether you remember this. We were at the church on 83rd, the Taylors.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
RJ, I remember RJ spoke, and that was literally 2 weeks after my surgery. And I just needed to be in the presence of God. And with me doing that, I began to see myself come back this way, a little bit at a time.
But I guess what I'm ultimately asking is, and I hope I'm not getting too personal, the first question would be, was this or is this their father? Because again, that can affect children, you know, if it's both their step parents and then versus step parents. And then ultimately, or my next question would be to circle back to taking us through that time period, how you were feeling, where did the embarrassment come from? Why were you maybe embarrassed? That time period.
Okay. The husband, he was not my kid's father.
Okay. But there was a relationship with them and him, obviously.
Oh yeah. Because when
we were young.
Yeah, because when I got married, my boys was 9, and they are 31 now.
Okay.
How long were you all married? How long did the marriage last?
13, 14 years.
Oh wow, long time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was some time. The embarrassment came in that because we were both ministers inside the church.
Okay.
When people, they begin to see you. You know when people see you together and it just looks so together, and then all of a sudden you no longer see one person, but you see the other person. And it's just the way that people just interacted with me, the way that they just kind of like saw me, you know, it was just, it was an embarrassment. And definitely, you know, it was hard coming to church, but I knew that it was something that I yet needed to do.
Do you think that a little bit of your embarrassment came from him confiding in others and them maybe knowing a little bit more than you did?
A big portion of it was that people knowing what it is that he was saying, and instead of in first thing, it was something that they didn't even have no business of being in.
Right.
That's the first thing. And then the second thing, for you to judge me and to not even know me.
Yeah. That part.
You don't even know me. You know, people look at me and they think because I'm vocal, that everything is just hunky-dory and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, I'm a human being. I have feelings, I have emotions, all that good, wonderful stuff. But people, they looked at me completely different. They did.
Because here's the truth, and I heard this yesterday in the sermon that I listened to while I was at church. One of the things he said was that when people don't have all the details, they start making assumptions.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened, because I'm vocal and he's quiet. So I just had to be the one that messed everything up, and this wasn't right, that wasn't right. But Kim, she's to blame. But you still don't know, and you can't judge people. You just can't.
I want to put this comment back on the screen that Charlotte said that divorce is like a death, and when a person divorces, they're leaving behind, right? All hopes of that relationship is done. So it's an ending. It's done. It's over with. And in this way, experiencing a divorce is kind of like experiencing a death, and the process of recovery kind of is almost like the same. So do you feel that you had to go through a grieving process, grieving the relationship, grieving the marriage? Help me with that.
Of course. Let me back up a little bit. Me and my children's father, we didn't get married. We were together in a relationship, on distant relationship, for about like 12 years. So anybody that knew me prior to that, you know, I was still holding on to hope that me and him would end up together. That's the first thing. So if you saw me and the kids, or me, the kids, and my mother. That's just the way that it was for years. So for me to get to the point to where I can open up my heart to love again, and, you know, to allow you in, that was a process in itself.
Yeah.
So, and to be in a relationship, so we were together 13 years. By the time I got the time we had the divorce, that was like 16 years. And just trying to figure that out, you know, the whole 9 yards, and trying to put your life back together after being with someone more than a decade, that's hard in itself. And it is. It's definitely a debt. It is.
So I guess my question, I know that, you know, like in piggybacking off of what Charlotte said, with it being like a death, there are stages that you go through to try to move yourself to acceptance or now healing. How did you handle those particular stages? Did you get mad? Were you depressed? Was there anger? How did you?
So what I would do, for the most part, I tried to tunnel through it, you know, and definitely a sadness set in, because even in the midst of it all, it was definitely a death, because I recall a conversation that I had with my daughter. I only have the one daughter, and we're fairly close. But I recall telling her, I'm ready to go. I literally lost myself. And, you know, for the most part, I'm a real strong person. But when you lose yourself, it's like, oh my God.
What did you mean when you said I'm ready to go?
Oh yeah, I was ready. I was ready to go home and to be with God. Literally, I shared that conversation with Shadonna one day, and she just heard me out. And after I got everything off my chest, she just simply asked me. She said, "Mama, what am I going to do without you?" And to me, I figure at that time, you know, I'm saved. You know, when I leave here, I'm going straight to glory, of course. And she said, she just asked me. She said, "Mom, what am I going to do without you here?" And she told me, she said, "No, Mom. What you do is, come on, let's just rest. Let's just get a nap. And when you get up, you'll feel so much better." And lo and behold, it was nobody but God, because I literally got up and I felt so much strength. Now, outside of Shadonna, I've never shared that conversation to no one. Do you not know we was at church one day and Cole ended up praying for me? And she told me, God spoke. God said, it's not time for you to go. You got a lot of living left to live. But it was I'd never shared that with Cole, but God heard it, came straight on in. So wow. Yeah, it's definitely a death.
So Dion says, with God's help, I love Kim, and she is a big part of my life. She always encourages me. I've been with Kim ever since I was 13. So that's major.
Yeah.
And this is one reason that, you know, we all go through tough times. And this could very well be one of those reasons why you couldn't go, because you have people, you know, that your strength. You have people that you encourage, that look to you. So that's amazing that you have someone like that who says, "Hey, she fights for me," you know. And these times of, you know, dealing with divorce, sometimes, you know, and I'm listening to you. Sometimes you like, oh, just forget it. I'm done. I done had enough. Get me out of here. But and I want to say,
I've got a question. I'm sorry, Willie. I think that we skipped this part. With the divorce and with everything you went through with the church, was there confusion? Because you all lacked communication. He just up and left, and you were trying to figure out what's going on, right? Like your head had to be spinning. Like, were you ever confused as to what was going on, why it happened? Did you attempt to make contact with him to try to find out what had happened and or why it had happened? Did you ask, can we go through counseling? Can the situation be resolved? Were you all ever able to talk after he left? And did he answer for himself? I'm sorry, Willie, I cut you off.
Not really. In the initial part of everything, with him coming back briefly, but it was only to grab some stuff. I tried to talk, tried to find out what was going on and how it was going on. And he shared with me just some things that he would put in place for us. And even with that, it never happened. And even during the divorce proceeding, Nancy, it was like stuff came. It was even stuff that didn't even come out then, because he was in his mind, it was done with. So it was no need of really talking. Oh, wait a minute. I do remember after the divorce, really, really strange. So we, outside of our kids, I have a niece and a nephew that I raised, that we raised together. Outside of, they graduated, went to high school, prom, the whole 9 yards. We worked together to get them to where they needed to be. And then abruptly one day I was at church, and out of nowhere, he just sent me a text. I mean, literally after the divorce, all of a sudden he wanted to get with me. So it was just really, really strange. So of course, at that point, I was already done. It was like, when you needed to talk to me to try to get together, it was way before we were headed to the divorce court, not afterwards.
Charlotte said it is a loss. You have to go through a grieving process. My father was divorced, and me and his wife were very close, but he had moved on, and I myself grieved the relationship. So, and that's that's another thing, when you divorce, it's so many people involved.
Yeah, and it was hard. So it was a total of 5 kids, outside of Rashida and Rashad and my 3. So definitely it was hard. Rashida and Rashad, they basically lived with us a good chunk of their lives. So to see us, and it's like even like now, they spend time with me. They get spend time, with him. The whole 9 yards. My boys, Kelvin was real close. He was real close to one of my sons, and he wasn't so close with the other one. So it was like even after the divorce, he would still check in from time to time, And my kids, I remember at the time, my sons, they had a hard time with it because they couldn't understand why he was still trying to keep a relationship with them, but didn't want a relationship with their mom.
Wow.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because even as you're speaking and even as I'm playing all this through my head, there are still, again, so many layers to what you're speaking of and what you experienced and endured. Because as a parent, as a mom, to be able, number one, to not have the answers for yourself, then how do you answer the children?
Right.
Such confusion in there. How do you stand for them? How do you help them process what you yourself don't even know how to process? Which is really why I asked about, the confusion, and did you ever get an answer? And even in that, just hearing you right now, it sounds like you never really got an answer. Then how did you find resolve? Enough resolve then to be able to let it go and move forward. Because when we're grieving, we've got to have things closed for us. We've got to have those answers. We've got to have some type of resolution. So how do you really grieve then? And I know that's a huge question and a whole bunch of questions tied up, right? All in there, dealing with the confusion, now dealing with how to help your children. But then how do I grieve now? But I don't even know. How do I close the door on what I have no clue of?
That's true. And I, just all of the answers, the answers. I mean, because even with trying to converse with him, I literally got nothing.
Was there anything that you went through in the relationship that can make you pinpoint something? Because I mean, if he's quiet and you're kind of like in the background, that's a distance. So there's already something that's creeping in. Do you have an idea?
One thing in it, I'm a person, I take care of business. What needs to be taken care of, it needs to be taken care of. And that was something that, it was one of the things that he struggled in. It was just different things, like bills and stuff, stuff needs to be paid. At the end of the day, it needs to be paid. And he would just kind of, would just push stuff off, or stuff that needed to be paid in the beginning of the month. It was just, he would pay it in the end of the month, and it's running into a new month. Well, of course, things end up, things would eventually end up getting shut off, stuff that didn't need to be shut off. And all you had to do was just be open and be vocal and just say, I'm struggling here. I need help in this.
Yeah. So the question for me then is, because you all were married for a period of time, was he the same way when you all were first married? Was he communicating in the beginning and then communication dropped, or was he never really a talker?
Well, he's always been a real quiet person, and even Will can attest to that. But he would talk. He would talk, and we would, have conversations. Very candid conversations. But like I said, when a person gets to the place to where they no longer want you, you no longer in their heart, it's hard to try to have a conversation with a person who's no longer in their heart.
Was there something he said that made you think he no longer wanted you in his heart? Was there an action or?
Oh, I would see different things that he would do. The person, like I said earlier, the person that was displayed at church was not the person that we got at home.
Okay.
It was not. I would watch him love on people. I would watch him interact with people. But inside the home, that wasn't going on. I mean, it was not going on inside the home. It was totally different person. Totally different person than the person that was inside the church.
Here is, I'm hearing a lot.
Yeah.
And again, it's different, slightly different for me as it is for Dr. Nancy and Crystal, because I literally watched you go through this.
Yeah.
The fact that you never received closure.
Yeah.
That is Bishop Henry Holloway. Thank you, sir, for tuning in tonight. We love you. Because I like to think of myself to be a rather analytical person, depending on the situation. That right there would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
No, you gonna tell me something. I need to know why.
Something.
Yeah.
Because see, right here, if you all that are watching were listening, this lady, this woman got up like normal, went to work like normal, got the kids off to school, everything is normal, so she thought.
Right.
And came home that same day, and him and everything related to him was gone.
Yeah.
So the first thing I'm thinking is, you did not wake up that morning and say, you know what? I think I'm gonna leave today.
And that's the part that I was talking about, it in the heart. So
it's a matter of the heart.
Exactly. And apparently, I mean, come on, like you just said yourself, don't nobody just wake up and just,
right.
In the moment of it. that was something that he had planned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to say to all of you that are watching, all of you that will watch and that are listening on Spotify, I posted something on Facebook today, and I want to read it in preparation for this show. This is a thought that I had. And hearing what Kimmy's saying tonight, my post was it was really on point if I could find it. Okay. I said, you better have your own money
Oh Lord.
and everything else, even if you are married, because what happens if a spouse up and decides that they are leaving and they are the sole provider?
Yes.
That means you have, look, we're going back to last week.
Yes.
We're going back to now. It all makes sense.
It makes sense.
You got to have something.
I'm telling you.
Now, here we go again. There are layers to this, okay? There are layers to that. Now, see, you drive the car all over the place.
But now, my point is, he had a job. So she was not left without nothing. So, but this is something that you want to consider. You all that are watching, who want to get married, even if you are married, you want to consider this. Have your own stuff.
Well, you can't set the marriage up to fail before you get started.
Right. See,
no. You don't want to do that. But going in, I'm saying, don't put. I'm with y'all now from last week. I'm with
no,
you
you're not.
No, you're not.
I'm saying,
you're another lane.
You're 100%.
No.
You on defense mechanism.
No,
you're on a defense.
Another lane.
Yeah.
I think that going into any relationship, you should want to be in it 100%.
Charlotte is right with us. He is going another way, y'all. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. When you go into a marriage, we don't go into the marriage having mine and him having my stash. No,
100%.
Communication. This is again highlighting the importance of communication in any relationship, in every relationship, especially in a marriage. And when there is a gap in the communication, the moment you realize that the communication is now strained, that is the moment you want to begin to immediately seek help. You can always identify when there is, whether the person is an introvert or an extrovert, because you had a dating relationship prior, you were married and in the honeymoon phase, and you kept on going as you're married. You can almost pinpoint where the communication turn, where the no change from like a okay, no honey, to a no, I'm not doing it. No, you can pinpoint that. And so it's at that moment when you want to say, oh, okay, wait a minute, what's going on here? What's happening? And why is this happening? We want to begin to deal with it then. When we talked about having a stash last week or a rainy day fund, sir, okay, that was a separate fund for rainy days, not for.
No, I get that.
Getting out of there.
I get that. Totally, 100%. I do. But what I'm saying, and I will stand on it.
Here we go.
Listen, hear me out.
Okay.
You should have something in the event that something goes wrong. And you should not, I think that you should I'm not saying go in prepared for something to go wrong. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But life be lifing sometimes. And if this person decides I'm out, you should not be left with nothing because that person has everything. That's what I'm saying.
And what I will say to that is just to kind of, I would say that I believe that every person should have
their own account
and a way that they are able to be financially stable. How about that?
Absolutely.
So that means that, you know, I have a job or you have a job. I have a means of making money. You have a means of making money, so that if in the event something happens, I have something that I can do where I'm not left, like you're saying, completely.
That's what I was saying. That Kim,
unskilled.
she had a job.
Yeah.
She was left out there.
Yeah.
Look, see what look what Lady K said. He said he have marriage insurance.
That's right. Have something. Have something.
But you know what? Today, Gabrielle Union made a comment
She
that
did.
if she was to not have another movie, she does not know what she would do, because her and Dwayne go 50-50 on everything. So if she doesn't have her half, and I don't know if it's that he's refusing to do that or that's what they agreed upon, but that's another situation. Like, do you have something on the side? Did you save anything from your movie? Did you, you know, if she was to just stop working, what she's saying is, I would be SOL.
Yeah. So Charlotte, we don't want to have to use the life insurance.
Charlotte said she got a life insurance plan. Oh, Mike, you better be careful.
We don't want that.
Charlotte said there's only one way up out of here.
That's the only way for her. I like
That's
that.
the only way.
I'm really, we're laughing but we're learning at the same time, and I'm really really happy.
Yeah.
And this definitely helps someone. This definitely helps
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
And the flip side to everything, with me allowing God to heal me, to mend me and put me back together. I'm in a much better state.
That's good.
Than I've been. I'm in a much better state now than what I was in the marriage. And I didn't even
absolutely.
I didn't even realize that it literally took my niece, my youngest, Rashida. She shared it with me, and I looked at it. You know, I'm like, that is so true. But see, that's the gratefulness of God and the heart of God.
Shout out to Rashida and Rashad, twins.
Excuse me?
I said shout out to Rashida and Rashad, your twins.
I like what Michaela said. That's huge. It's so true.
She said the amount of women who are left with nothing is crazy. Have a savings account or means of making money is a necessity.
I think long gone are the days of just one spouse depending upon the other. Really, even if you marry a millionaire, ladies, gentlemen, even if you marry a millionaire, because although this happens primarily or predominantly to women, it can definitely happen to men as well.
Sure.
I think that everyone needs to have a means of some type of independence where you are not totally, because let's just be honest, in the world that we live in today, your resume means a lot to you getting a job. And so if you haven't had any skills in the last 5 years, 1 year, 2 years, I'm saying 5, but last year plus, who really wants you? And where do you start? Where do you begin? You know what I'm saying? Degree or not, if you've not been moving, especially as we get older, if you've not been doing anything, then who wants you? So it's important, like she's saying, and like we've already agreed, that you have a means for making some type of money.
Yeah. Kim, first of all, thank you for coming on tonight. You went through public church divorce. You went through embarrassment. You went through shame. You went through your body reacted to it.
It did.
Physically, in a way where you got sick.
Yes.
Had to have surgery. All of that. But you made it.
Yes.
Huh?
There's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
You made it. And to those of you that are listening, if you have gone through divorce, remember, all 4 of us, we've all been through it. And we all made it.
You can make it.
Oh, yeah.
We can make it.
And it's not an overnight. And it's not an overnight thing. And that's okay.
Yeah. It's definitely not. It's a process.
Tell people that you have to get through a thing in the blink of an eye. No, because you didn't go through it with the blink of an eye. You're definitely not gonna come out of it with the blink of an eye. But in the midst of it all, be very candid with God. Just, I mean, even though He already know what, just lay everything down. Just tell Him about it.
Yeah.
And I know that when I'm like that, I get help right where I'm at. He meets me there.
That's
I
good.
want to encourage you guys that have experienced divorce and have never gotten over it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to encourage you tonight by looking at us as examples.
Yeah.
We all made it through. It's not easy. Look, my brother just said it. You can recover.
Yes.
Indeed.
You can. It's a whole process. And you have to deal with it. Unfortunately, you have to deal with it head on. And you in that process, you might have to check a few people too. And if so, that's all right. Because people see what we show them.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what happened at home.
That's
Correct.
right. That's right.
And like I said, that I heard yesterday, when they don't know the details, they start making up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And y'all know what those people say about assuming.
Mm.
We
know what they say.
Right there. The woman, there was a woman, Martise said, listen at this. He said, you can't worry about what people say or do. Keep pressing on.
Pressing on. That's right.
And that's what I want. That's all we're trying to say to somebody tonight. Keep going.
Just keep moving.
Keep going. No matter what people say, no matter what people do, whether or not, watch this, whether or not you get the closure that you actually deserve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Keep going.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You got to. Because even in my case, I never got the closure.
Never got it.
I never got it, and I had no choice but to continue to move forward.
Yeah. Because what good would it do you to stay stuck in that moment,
right,
until I get closure? Until I get, what if you never get it?
Yeah. And then, like you're saying, and then she would have been the one still stuck right there in that moment in time, and he has gone on about his life.
Going on with his life.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
The title of the message, this is so on time. The title of the message that I heard yesterday was Woman Stand Up. And then a subtopic was Look Up, Move Forward.
Mm-hmm.
That's what y'all got to do. That's what and as hard as it may be, Crystal did it, Dr. Nancy did it, I did it, Kimmy did it. You can do it too.
Yep.
All right. Listen, marriage is God's design.
Mm-hmm.
It is honorable. It is sacred.
Yeah.
I have said it before, and I will say it until I leave this earth. If you are not ready,
say so.
Don't do it.
Say so.
Until you know you're ready. Know by way of the Holy Spirit, know by way of counseling, know by way of therapy for yourself before you commit to somebody else. Because a lot of times we take baggage into another person's life thinking they can heal us.
Ooh, that's a whole nother show, sir.
Huh?
That's a whole nother show. And so true.
And I'm not demonizing anybody. I'm just going based on what Kimmy said. This guy, God bless him, he left his family without warning, without a word.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine the pain that this woman and her children went through?
Endured, yeah.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the scrutiny
Yeah.
that they were under? Can you imagine the whispers?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the gossip? And then at the same time, I got to praise God. How hard is that, right?
Oh, it's so much more. And even because, Minister Kim, you were in ministry, you still had to stand and endure.
Yes. And even exactly what you said. I yet had to stand. I yet had to be an example. I yet had to minister and do everything else that I did outside of my normal life.
Yes, that's so
Because
good.
when you're in leadership, you don't get to put that down because you don't.
Listen, that's why I said there's so much more even
So
to
much.
this, because just to have to endure and to stand, to endure the process is big all by itself. Is huge. You can't just take down. You can't just say I'm not doing that because I got this going on over here. And it's funny because Pastor Martise and I were talking about that yesterday. We don't, when you're in ministry, you really don't have, we've got to be like Jesus. We got to carry that cross and come on, complete the work.
The chosen don't get a choice.
You don't have a choice. Can you imagine if he had thrown the cross down?
Right.
I'm not doing this.
No.
Can you imagine? The assignment would not have been completed. Okay, come on, let me hush. Okay. No.
First Lady Huggins, I like that, says sometimes we get closure, but it doesn't look like what we want or expect. Sometimes the closure is just the strength you gain to press and move forward. Sometimes it's simply forgiving, and not for them, but for you.
I totally agree.
Yep.
Everybody needs therapy at some point.
Oh yeah.
Michaela said. Prophetess Karen Evans is here with us tonight.
Hey, lady.
Y'all know she come through with the word. She said, beloved devil, avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. You serve God, and God will avenge.
Yes.
All right? Charlotte said, I'm learning our experiences are not for us and not for ourselves. And that is true. When we're getting ready to go, that's true. But a few weeks ago, we talked about this before we went live. Every now and then, the spirit of prophecy falls on me. And a few weeks ago it was, right, Kimmy? The Lord had given me something to share with Kimmy. And how ironic it is that it was about her telling her story. It's time. It's time. And to, be able to witness and minister to women and things of that nature. But how funny is it and ironic that this is the first of her telling on this show. But this is just the beginning for you.
It is.
I'm going to say that to you. This is just the beginning. And I'm so happy to see this new Kimmy. I'm so happy. I haven't seen you smile this much in so long. And when you see somebody, and I told you guys, I watched her go through it. So I know what she went through. And to look at her now, it's nothing but the grace of God that carried her this far. And I'm excited about your future, what's going to happen for you in your future.
And that's the reason why I know that I'm healed, I'm made whole, and it's something. And you have to watch yourself when you're going through anything traumatic. You have to watch what you speak. I mean, literally, I was listening to a lady, and it was a topic, and out of hurt, I spoke.
Okay.
And God dealt with me. He sure did. I had to go right back and repent to that. She was a prophetess. I had to go back and repent to her, explain the situation to her, the whole 9 yards. And that let me know I needed to get myself somewhere and go get healed.
That's good.
Yeah.
Go get healed. Because you can't go. I've learned that hurt people, they literally hurt people.
They hurt people.
Yes.
They hurt people. And if you're not healed, you're going to hurt someone.
So we got a whole nother show out of this show, and now we got some more stuff to talk about. But we're not going to talk about it next week.
No,
none of us be here.
No.
Next week, I'll probably just rebroadcast something because I will be in California next Monday. And Crystal and Dr. Nancy will be in Miami. Y'all, we separating.
Can you believe it?
It sucks.
Never again.
Because we travel together. But we're really, really excited about what you're going to do, and that's celebrate your daughter, my niece, Dr. Kiera.
Yes.
So we are so excited about that. She's officially a doctor, you guys, and they're going to celebrate her graduation. Oh, I'm so sad I won't be there, but I'm happy because I'm going to another place I've never been. So I will be in one area, one coast, and you'll be on the other coast, you and Crystal. But we won't be here next week, and we won't be here the following week either because that's Memorial Day.
Yeah.
So you guys don't have to miss us for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Y'all know when we come back, we coming. Okay?
Locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded. We got so much we can share just gleaning from the shows that, and I'm going to talk about this stash a little more too, but that's a whole nother stuff. Anyway, Kim Taylor is a survivor.
Yes.
She is a survivor. Some of you watching and listening have survived, and you have horror stories as well. But again, like I said a minute ago, the main thing and the most important thing is that you made it.
Yes.
And if you are suffering, whether it be from the shame of divorce or whatever it's about, if you are suffering, don't do it alone. I think it was key, and I pinpointed that when Kim was talking, that she had somebody by her side and in her corner. You need to make absolutely sure that the people in your boat are rowing in the same direction as you.
That's important.
And not drilling holes in your boat.
That's right.
Yes.
Right.
Charlotte, I just read your post. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You need to make sure that you have people that will lift you up. That will pray for you. Speaking of pray for you, I want to say I received a text message right before we came on tonight. My girl, Charnel Brown from Gary, Indiana, she lost her mother today. She texted me that. And I want to say that we are steadily going to hold you in prayer, you and your family. I love you. And, you know, we're going to do what we have to do. So we're praying for Charnel, and we're praying for all families that have experienced loss, that are grieving. We're praying for individuals that are grieving the loss of relationships because it is like a death. But the good thing about that is the relationship can die, but you yet live.
Yes.
Okay? You have got to, as hard as it may be, you've got to keep living.
Gotcha.
Because there is something on the other side of this.
Listen, on the other side of this.
On the other side of this.
And it's greater.
Much greater. You may not see it right now, But I'm telling you, if you just keep going, don't give up. There's something on the other side of this. And then allow, and we leaving because I'm feeling like saying something. Allow God to heal your heart before you give it to another person.
Yes.
That's
Huge. That's a whole nother show too. Yes.
Yeah.
Heal your heart before you give it to another
Allow
person.
God to heal your heart before you give it to another person. And I'm saying that because sometimes we want, and it's natural for human beings to want to be loved.
Yes. Yes.
It's natural. God gave us those emotions.
And you should be. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't want you to go into another relationship broken from the previous.
Come on. That's right. So true.
Don't go into another relationship and you are emotionally unavailable.
That's right. That's right.
Because when you go through heartbreak like this,
listen,
it tears you up on the inside.
It does.
And while sometimes you long for companionship, you haven't given your heart enough time to heal, beloved.
Not closed all the doors, swept out all the rooms. And are you truly in love or are you infatuated?
Yeah.
So now that we know that Kim Taylor is healed and whole,
completely,
I think she's about ready.
I
think she's ready.
Kim,
it's obvious with all the prophecies that I keep getting. It's close. It's near. Even I see it.
Yeah, I salute you for going through the process, for enduring the process, for forgiving, for taking the time you needed to become whole and to heal. I salute you. Even for being an example to your children and to the people that you could, I salute you.
So we definitely shout out to Kim. Thank you for telling your story. Thank you for sharing with us. And we hope that somebody was helped and encouraged tonight. Pastor Martise says, but he can also put someone there to help rehab your heart. Okay. I see.
Shout out to Nancy. Shout out to Nancy. All right.
Crystal.
Crystal. Now that's another show.
He said, I'm just saying. So, I just tried to read between the lines. Shout out.
Absolutely. I'm with Charlotte on this one. Thank you, Kim, for your transparency. I know it's not easy to talk about things of this nature. It's very sensitive.
It is,
and it brings back memories. It could flare up emotions. But I'm looking at a healed woman.
Listen, that smile says it all, right?
I'm looking at a whole woman.
I remember a lot of mornings getting up crying before I would leave out and would go to work, just trying to hold it together.
Yeah. And it was okay. All of those feelings were valid.
All valid.
All valid. But again, you, by the grace of God, you made it through one of the most traumatic experiences of your life. And now you get to share it and to help somebody else can help pull somebody else through what they're going through. So thank you, Kim, for sharing your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for being here. You guys, we're getting off of here. We will not be back until Monday, June 5th. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for watching the Self-Checkout Show. This is the show where we take an honest look at what's in our hearts, minds, and spirits. We'll be back 2 weeks from tonight. For Crystal, Dr. Nancy, and Minister Kimmy, I'm Pastor Will. This is the show. We'll talk to you guys 2 weeks from tonight. Good night, everybody.
Bye.